say internet marketing or top spot on Google because they've already heard it. They've got people barraging them with, well, I can get you top spot on Google. Oh, I like this one too. Hi, Mr. Harrison. Yeah, this is Frank. I'm an authorized representative of Google. I work directly with Google, and I've been authorized to get you top spot on the maps. I'm like, really? Your paycheck is signed by Google, huh? Well, not exactly. I'm like, then don't misrepresent yourself. And I hang up. But there's so many people that don't know that Google doesn't have an SEO team and all that stuff. And these guys are getting burnt by it so much. That's why there's such a closed door. That's why I asked the most successful students, and not somebody making $500 or $600 a month. These guys have all gone from zero to over 10 grand a month, and I found the common denominator in the last 6 months. And I've asked them all, what was the secret? Where was the turning point? And aside from taking action, that's what I want to share with you today. Are you guys interested? Excellent. I like this. See, I kind of thought this might be a little bit better than talking about YouTube. Now, I'm going to answer YouTube real quick. I didn't even make a mind map because this is going to be so fast. Guys, if you need phone verified YouTube accounts, Fiverr, $5, they'll give you 20 of them. Yeah, you'll lose a few because they come from wherever they get them from, but that's okay. It's not all that hard to create a phone verified YouTube account either. You can do it through Google AdWords also. If you need YouTube phone verified accounts to make multiple channels, Fiverr, just go get a list of 20 of them. It's $5, you're done. It saves you for me to create 20 phone verified channels for myself. I like to do them myself because I'm very specific. But once you have the phone verified account, you just change the channel name to whatever it is that you want. And as long as it's not one of your golden accounts, so what if it goes away? Just make another one. Ain't no big deal. Takes 5 minutes to go to Fiverr. You'll have them an hour later. You got 20 phone verified accounts done. You can create everything that you want. Optimize all of YouTube, the channel content. Optimize all that out. We'll cover that Tuesday. I'll go deeper into that. But that's one of the ways to get a phone verified account at YouTube real fast. Fiverr. I do it all the time. I'll get 20, 30 of them. I get multiples, and then I set up backups too. Little secret, in case one goes away, I got another one. I just unlist. I make everything public. They'll be there unlisted. Then I click everything public, and boop, I'm back in business. Because sometimes Google takes them away. Not good. Now, to get to the decision maker, first and foremost, most important part of this entire equation is that you have got to make sure, if you're going to do this and you're going to put money in your pocket, make sure that whoever it is that you're going to be talking to is currently spending money on advertising. It can be the phone book. It could be them losing their butt on Groupon. It could be Valpak. It could be money mailers. It could be anything, any of it. They have to be spending money. Guys, I have one student, Danny, and I'm going to share you his story here in just a second. I don't know what the average age of the group here is, but Danny is 18 years old. He wrote me about 3 months ago and said, Wes, nobody's going to take me seriously. I'm only 18 months old. And I said, Danny, that makes you a computer whiz. Anytime I need a problem, anytime on my computer, I'm 48. Anytime I'm stuck on my computer, I asked my daughter, Kaylee, she's 10. She was like, oh, man, that's so easy. I can't believe you're, duh. And I'm like, oh. So 18, I would not look down to that. But Danny says, yeah, but I'm going into these businesses, and I just don't think that they're going to take me serious. If you believe you can, you're correct. If you believe you can, you are correct. So Danny and I, we came up with the idea that he was a student. I said, Danny, you're in my marketing class. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to go into the business owners, and I want you to tell them that you're a marketing student, and your class instructor has instructed you to use their advertising efforts as your homework, and you're going to do a class study on it, and you're going to report back to me. He said that was a changing point, because now all of a sudden he is, and guys, here's the other side of it before I give away the golden nugget on this one. That gets him in the door every time. Now, at will, he goes and picks up $750, $850 checks. I've got the checks. I had him prove this to me. We can go down that path later. I'll share with this, and if you try it, it works golden, especially if you're just starting and you're not 100% sure how all this works. Be willing to be a student and provide value first to the company. Here's the secret on that one. Danny goes in and he said, he'll call. He said, Wes, I can't drive down the street and see an advertisement like a billboard. I can't open the phone book and see a half-page ad. I can't. Everything I look at is an opportunity. If I see an advertisement anywhere for anything, my mind now starts thinking, wow, I could market to them because they're not on the internet. That's where their advertising dollars should be being spent. I'm like, exactly. That's exactly right. If you see a billboard, you know they're spending $2,500 a month for that billboard. You know where they need to be spending that $2,500 is with you to get exposure where the people are on the internet. Yeah, there might be 100,000 people driving up and down that street every day, but the entire Kansas City metro area is 500,000 people. And I got videos that I can tell you right now you could type in, and it goes around the globe. There's only 6 billion people I'm putting some of my campaigns in front of. That's marketing effectiveness right there. So Danny, I asked Danny, well, Danny, these checks are amazing. How do you transition from being a student to getting these $700 and $850 checks? And he's like, well, usually they ask me before I'm even done. And I'm like, really? Share the story, son, please. I want to know. And then I noticed the insignia at the top of the check over to the left-hand side is a medical insignia. And I'm like, Danny, wait. Are you dealing with medical centers and doctors? He's like, yeah, they're so easy. I'm like, oh, you have to disclose here. Come on. And he says, Wes, we will do an interview, but basically here's what I do. I will see an advertisement somewhere of some type, and anytime I need any extra money, I just call them up and I tell them that I'm in a marketing class and I want to bring in my homework and show them what I've done. I said, okay. Then when he says, out of 10 phone calls, I will get to actually meet with the doctor in person. During the course of the conversation, I show the doctor some of the work that I've already done, and they usually cut me a check. And I said, well, okay. So take me from your showing of some of the work that you've already done for the other doctors to how you actually get the check. And he says, well, normally they will just, when I start pointing out that they haven't filled out their Google Plus, and when they haven't filled out this information and they don't have exposure on the Get Listed, if you guys don't use Get Listed as kind of a fast to what's not filled out, getlisted.org is a wonderful resource that you can have them look up their business and find out how much exposure they don't have. And he said, and usually about that time they're going, okay, Danny, I get it. How much? And they're cutting me a check. And I'm like, wow. I said, now what about, residuals? And he's like, well, you have to understand, Wes, I'm 18. I got a girlfriend. I like to mess around. But anytime I need any extra money, I just call a couple doctors and I go get a check. As nonchalantly as that, I'm like, oh, the 18-year-old kid going to the doctor, hitting them up for $850 just to fill out their Google Plus page, stuff like that. So one of the most effective campaigns is to be a student. Now, Carol took the same concept. She was not comfortable being a student, so she goes in and she presents it from, I'm in a marketing class, and we used your marketing efforts as a class study. And she watches and she sees where the conversation goes, and depending on how it is and how it isn't, there's depending on if she needs to be a person of authority, she can either be the person teaching the class or she can be a student in the class. And it makes all the difference in the world, because if she needs to be a person of authority, she can. And she said that made all the difference in the world for her. Just being able to use the marketing campaigns as a case study for pointing out the holes and all that. Here's another aspect of be willing to be a student. If you haven't been in a niche and you don't understand all the trigger points and the hot keywords and the profitable keywords and any of that, if you're willing to be a student and do work for one campaign, and you go in and you tell them, say, listen, I'm in a marketing class and I used your stuff as an example as my homework because I was supposed to find all the flaws in your campaign. I know that you're spending all this money, you're losing all this money on Groupon because it only has a 25% return, you got to give them 50% right off the bat on whatever it is, and then you got to give them another 25%. Then it's $1 per coupon per customer if you try to cancel, and you don't get paid until the entire campaign's over. So I know Groupon, and those are coupon clippers, so those are not the targeted people that you want in the door. And then I also looked up, and I noticed you're spending $1,500 a month on Valpak, and then I looked at the phone book, and you've got a half-page ad, which is at least $2,500. Then I went to the internet, and I looked at your you haven't claimed your Google Pluses page, you haven't done any of this, etc., etc. All you have to do is find some holes, not a whole bunch of them, but just find some holes, and then look at their website, because they're going to say, well, I have an SEO team. Find the holes in the website, and don't say that their SEO team sucks or anything like that. Just say, I noticed a few errors. I mean, everybody's human, and these are some things that the rules are changing at Google. I noticed that you don't have this information in your footer, or the title tag isn't 60 characters, or there's no keywords in the title. It just says, home, etc. You just find little things and present it to them. And being a student, you can ask them, well, if I was to assemble this and fix this, would you be willing to share with me what your most profitable product or service is? What people like to buy? Where do you make the most money, and how does that message get out? And you would be absolutely amazed at the golden nuggets that they will give you. Guys, I have done this with painters, roofers, plumbers, chiropractors, the LASIK eye surgery. I did a whole campaign based off the secretary's input, because the doctor told her what to tell me. So I do a whole LASIK eye surgery campaign for Dr. Wiles. And then I show him, and the receptionist like, Wes, I don't know what you did, but the phone won't stop ringing. And I'm like, this is good. I go and I talk to Dr. Wiles, and Dr. Wiles is like, well, why did you do LASIK? That's not where I really make money at. I make the most money on macular degeneration and eyelid surgery. And I said, well, Doc, if you would have picked up the phone and talked to me instead of giving me your secretary and doing third-party relay, you'd have a macular degeneration campaign, and you'd have an eyelid surgery campaign. But you didn't take the time to call me, Doc, and I'll bet you as a result, you lost at least $100,000. He's like, oh, no, Wes, get out of here. And I'm like, Doc, look, I asked you if I could be a student. I needed this information. I put it together, and I did it. Here's the numbers. And you know what, Doc? It's just as much work for LASIK as it would have been for your eyelid surgery or macular degeneration, because people are calling. So let's get together and let's retarget this campaign. That has led into more opportunities than I can count. Be willing to be a student. Long story short is be willing to be a student and be willing to provide value first, because now here's the icing on the cake on that one. I didn't lose any money, but I didn't make what I wanted to. But Discover Vision Center caught wind of my campaign and wants to know if I'm interested in doing something nationally for them. How cool is that? And I have the social proof from the campaign that I was willing to be a student on. And it all started with the automotive repair shop. So present value, offer solutions, and be willing to be a student is probably the first, foremost, biggest thing that there is. Second most effective way is interview. If you call them up and you ask them if you can interview them about their business, what their mission statement is, what purpose do they want to serve and give to the public, and ask them the questions. Why did you go into business to begin with? Because as a business owner, when we go into business, we have this idea that we hang this shingle out and they will come, like the Field of Dreams. We'll build it and they will come. And then real fast, we get disillusioned because employees don't want to work, and then the taxes, no matter how much we make, the taxes go up, and then after 10 years, you go, why am I working 120 hours a week and I'm still not making anything, yet I'm busting my butt to serve all these people? They love to be interviewed and tell the story as to why they went into business. What was the dream? What was the reason? And then offer to put their story on your blog. It's not necessarily a directory, but a local business interview blog. And it doesn't have to rank. It doesn't have to anything. What happens is when you call them up and ask them if you can do an interview, they will, and then you just tell them, hey, I'm doing interviews of the local businesses, and I want to find out why they went into business in the first place for our community. That's why they went into business in the first place, was to give to the community. So you're speaking their language. That gives you the opportunity to refer for, pay no more. That's my secret right there. Somebody's asking, what's the refer for, pay no more? You're going to find out. By interviewing them, by being a student, by being willing to present value, you're speaking their language. You are showing that you just want to help them. And excuse me. And I had to get a drink of water. Sorry. They will open up to you, and it's your perfect opportunity to do what's called a marketing analysis needs assessment. What does that mean? Well, you get to ask them questions. Well, have you ever experienced, like Groupon, for example? What are your frustrations with that? What do you think the return on investment is on the Yellow Page ad that, I notice it's half a page, or that whole cover? That's got to be expensive. Do you get many calls back on that? Most companies have no idea what the return on investment is.
Go to Customer Information Manager, and then type in
offering.
Is it JESS?
Brian? Hello?
Wes, can you hear me?
I can.
Well, there you go. I thought I had my mic muted.
No, sir.
I'm in the middle of migrating accounts and suffering through heinous activities. I will fix the mute. Sorry, dude.
No. Am I on a good track here, or am I getting?
No, you're doing great. I'm staying out of it. You're running the call, man. I'm trying to stay out of it. I'm answering some questions in the background for Gonti and John and others, but I am trying to stay off the call and let you do your thing right now.
Okay, awesome. Okay, Kathy just answered. She says, "Yep, we're on a good track." Okay, excellent. All right. This gives you the chance, most importantly, this gives you the chance to establish the rapport and do a needs analysis, a marketing needs analysis, and they will hand you the keys to the kingdom. They will give you the inside track on this stuff. All right, guys, what is all this? How does this put money in my pocket? All right, you build the campaign, you get all the inside golden nuggets, you've got all the tidbits. You can create a laser-focused campaign. By the way, did I mention that you control that? This comes from Tuesday. You control everything that you build for them. You're just letting them have the benefits of the campaign that they're helping you build yourself. Then, guys, you move one town over. If it's a brick and mortar business, most people won't go out of a 5-mile radius to go to them. Now, if it's a service company like the tree guy or the roofer, make sure that they have a high per value customer, a high customer per customer, high value. The reason I say that is because it's so much easier to get 2 or 3 $8,000 a month phone calls than it is to get 3,000 $5 a month phone calls. It's just so much easier. Trust me on this one. Yes, Dick, you want to own everything. Your lead generation website, the website that you make for them, the phone number that is referral, use a call tracking number. Callfire's got them. They're cheap. Most importantly, when you refine and make this entire campaign, here's the pushback you're going to get on the call tracking. Well, Wes, that's not my phone number. You're absolutely right. But Robert, this is how we identify how many calls are coming in through this campaign, because if it's not working, I want to be able to refine it and make it more effective for you to put more money in your cash register. Are you sure that's, you don't have a problem with that, do you? And you'll be amazed at the reaction. I didn't think of it that way. Well, yeah, over at the Yellow Pages, you don't know how many calls are coming from that. But here we're going to know. And then over at Valpak, if you quit paying Valpak, you lose that phone number. But in this case, we're going to track everything. It's going to go. By the way, did you know that I can also set up call recording on this so that when you're not here, we can listen to how your phone's being answered to make sure that your customer service is doing their job properly? Now, we have to announce to the customer that the phone's going to be recording, but we don't have to tell your staff that it's being recorded. You can just listen to it how it is. I can also make it so that it identifies that we have a call coming in from this campaign. Now, guys, I'm not pushing any plugins or anything like that. I'm just telling you, take advantage of call tracking, because when you build the real estate and you make the lead generation sites for them, or you put, if you even do flyers, put your number on those flyers for that business. You want that number to go everywhere, because if for any reason they decide they don't want to pay, that is your number, and you have the stats where you can go right over to Bob and say, Bob, look what I did for Jim. Jim no longer wants to take advantage of this. I don't know why, but look at all the business I sent him. Would you be interested in picking this up? Here's the numbers. Here's the stats. Here's how much I want for my campaign. When you don't have anything to show, Bob, that's why you want to set it up for a month for free. But you get all the inside golden nuggets. And the only way that they are going to disclose all that information to you is if you go in and you're willing to be a student and you're willing to learn, and you tell them, I would like to assemble this and I would like to laser focus this to you. Would that be okay? And if something's not working, can we refine it to where it works great? Guys, once you have that campaign built, all you do is move from city to city to state to state, and you go wild with it, because you've already refined what works. You've already done all the hard part. Getting to the gatekeeper. When you're a student, I have yet to have a business owner say, oh no, I don't want to talk to a broke ass student. Every single time I could pick up the phone 4 times, and 4 times I'll get, yeah, Wes, how can I help you? I understand you're in a marketing class. You'll be amazed. Just try it. Pick up the phone, grab Valpak, pull out some of the Valpaks, like the garage door guy and the whoever. Just call them up and say, hey, I'm in a marketing class, and my instructor told me that I had to use your marketing efforts, and I noticed that you had a Valpak coupon. Can I do a case study on how effective that is? Would you be willing to share the information about how that's worked? Because it's part of my homework. You'll be amazed. It opens the door wide open. Now, on the refer for, pay no more, that's the golden tip of the iceberg. Guys, I've just given you an overview of some of the most effective stuff. I wanted you to hear exactly who, what, when, where, why. I know what to say. You guys know what to say, but be willing to be a student so that you can help them help their business. They will give you everything that you want to know. I want to cover on this next little section, I want to cover what I have found is by far the most effective things that have worked for me and are working for the student. I have one student that has gone from 0 to halfway to 6 figures a month. She picked up a resort town, and they hired her, and that's over half of it right off the bat. But that's okay. She took action. She had nothing for the past year. She'd been studying it, learning it, and everything else. Had nothing. She finally took action. A resort town happened to see her advertising efforts and said, could you do that for the whole town? And the whole town hired her. How did she get that? She went in person. She went to the meetups. She went to the RLI. She got involved in the community. And the business owners asked her, well, what do you do? And so she's, well, I help businesses, I know how frustrating it is with the Groupon and all that stuff. And I do my best to try and help businesses, get a little bit better profits on advertising dollars. She doesn't say internet marketer. She uses empathy, and she uses and identifies the words that they understand, which is very important. You want to speak in their language. Phone calling. I will pick up the phone. The first one, the very most effective thing of all is in person. By far, going in person. I can be in any business anywhere, and I'll ask, how's business? And it's always the same story, especially if I'm talking to anybody in charge, a manager or whoever. They don't have enough time. They always wish they had more customers. And if they had more customers, their profits would be better. They have that entirely wrong. What they need is they need higher profit customers, which will increase the profits, which will give them more time. But they always get it backwards. Well, I need more customers. If they get more targeted coupon, if they get more coupon clipping customers, they have to spend more time not making any money. If they can get the high dollar customers, which is who we target, then we get the high dollar customer. Then instead of only making $1 per 100 customers, if they can make $100 off one customer, boy, that sure saves a heck of a lot of headaches. That's what we want to do. But we want to present it in a way that we help them with bringing in the higher profit. That's why when you start the conversation off as a student and you say, well, where do you make your most money? What's the high profit products and services that you offer? Little side tangent story. I went above and beyond auto repair. I put up a simple little video targeting oil changes. I lose $4 per oil change, but I needed more customers. That's the mentality of a business. I got to have more customers because I'm losing my butt. So I got page 1 of Google for oil change special. Did I lose $4? Did I get customers in the door? You betcha. I lost $4 and they didn't. I would do the whole courtesy checkout sheet. I was just beating my head against the wall just to stay even. It's the same thing with the Groupon. The reason that they're buying Groupon is they know they have to advertise, but they don't know where else to do it. And then this guy will come in with Groupon. We're going to deliver this many people and we're going to sell this much. And these people, they don't buy anything. They want to take advantage of the coupon. It's like, oh, what we want is I want the guy that comes in and says, Wes, I want you to go through my vehicle from bumper to bumper and make sure it's completely safe, do any maintenance that's necessary. That's cha-ching to me, because then I get to do the transmission service, the rear end service, and everything. And then if I find an axle boot that's broken or it needs brakes or something, I call them up and they're like, fix it. I want it done. And it's done. So no coupon clippers. Most effective way to do it, no matter what business I'm in, I will ask the question, so how's business? Well, if I had more customers, it'd be nice. I'm not making, and I'm here 120 hours a week. And man, this just isn't what I wanted. So then you tell them, well, really, that's kind of interesting. What if? And that opens the door. I'm in this marketing class, and what if I was to help you out? I'm not asking for anything, but what if I can ask my instructor and see what he says? And guys, all you want to do is establish rapport. Don't freak out on the fact that you're a student like Carol does. She says, well, I have a marketing class. She doesn't say whether it's her class or she's in the market. She leaves it ambiguous. That way she could see if she needs to be the student, she could be the student. If she needs to be the instructor, she could be the instructor. But the marketing class will do a case study on your advertising campaign and help you figure out and identify where the holes are. Would that be something that you're interested in? Guys, it works like gold. Second most effective thing that I can do is I can pick up the phone, and 4 out of 4 phone calls, I can get them to say, absolutely. Yes, Wes, that sounds great. Now, I take myself out of an internet marketing position entirely. I'm in a marketing class that I had to do. What I did is my homework was to do a case study on your advertising. And so when I turned it in, the instructor said I did a great job. And I asked the instructor, well, what do I do with the information now? And my instructor told me, and this is why I'm calling you now. He told me, he said, well, Wes, don't you think it'd be a good idea if you called him and told him? And so I have to do it because he told me to. Who would I share this information with? Guys, I'm telling you, it works like a miracle. And Betty will go, well, hold on a second. You want to talk with Steve, and put you right through. Steve will come, yeah, Wes, how can I help you? I'm like, well, Steve, my marketing instructor at the class I'm in, one gatekeeper one time asked me, well, Wes, just exactly what marketing class are you in? And I said, well, Results Marketing 101. And she's like, oh, okay, hold on. And put me right through. Next most amazing, and that one right there works like gold. Use it. Use it. That will get you the leads. And then, guys, remember all the services that you have in your pocket, your email campaigns, your mobile marketing campaign. Show them while you're sitting there. Take out your smartphone. Always try to get the interview. I use the phone to get to the interview. When I'm in person, I'll go, well, for example, and I pull up their website and I'll say, more people are on the internet than any. I mean, look here, right here. My shop used to look like this, and I have the click to regular version, and I have the click to mobile version, and I show them while I'm standing right there. I've got the report going, and at some point in the conversation, the person will ask, so, well, how much are we looking at? Well, one thing that you need to understand about marketing is that it is 10 times less expensive to remarket to customers that you already have established. So probably the best way to do this is let's go off your current customer base. Let's get a campaign built up there. That way we can get money in the register. And then once we got extra money in the bank account, then we can explore, let's build the mobile site. Let's do this, let's do that, but let's make everything pay for itself. I know it's a unique concept, advertising, actually putting money in your reg, but that's what I try to specialize in. Because if my marketing campaigns are not working for you, I don't want you spending money on them. We have to figure out how it is that we increase the profits. That's my most important priority, is helping you get more money in that register, because I know the more money I put in your register, the more checks you're going to be willing to cut me. Am I right? 100% of the time. Yeah, you put money in my register, I'll give you a cut. You bet. Guys, you're not walking in the door trying to sell them another listing. You're not trying to sell them any. You were there to help, and it works like gold, especially if you're a student. Very effective. If you're not quite as extroverted as I didn't used to be extroverted, and I wasn't this way. I started skydiving, my life changed. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. I was also the kid on the porch that wouldn't leave until I got his $5. If I needed $5 for go-kart parts, that's where I actually got it from. Because I'll go in and he's like, you don't understand. I got to have $5 because my go-kart clutch broke. And so I'm gonna paint your fence. I'm gonna mow your lawn. I'll wash the car. Let me wash the dog. Wait, just give me $5 and I had people give me money just to leave. Kind of hard to imagine, huh? Anyways. FedEx, if you put a report together, I have not had luck successfully on this one. Yes, it works, but these two for me are where I can make magic happen. On the FedEx, they will open a FedEx priority mail every time. You can use FedEx or priority mail, either or. That will get opened. And it works, but the offer inside is the same thing that they've seen 54 more times this week, because everybody and their brother is saying, you've got to show them something scary about their website or something. You got to make sure that you have it. You've got 3 seconds to capture their attention, or it goes file 13 right off the bat. RLI, meetup group interaction. This is before you go meeting in person. Practice your elevator script. If you're not an internet marketer and you're not an offline marketer, by the way, business owners do not know what offline marketing is. But practice your elevator speech. Here's the mindset on this when you're rehearsing this. You've got approximately 35 to 40 seconds from the time you walk into an elevator and those doors close to where you now have a trapped audience. Your pitch has got to be so effective that when those doors reopen, they don't want to leave. They want to finish the rest of the ride with you. You have got to figure out what the magic words are that suit your personality with your message that you can express in a matter of seconds. Guys, I'm going to help you with the 3 most critical factors that all business owners are frustrated by: lack of time, lack of profits, and they think lack of customers. If you can craft your speech to point out to them and communicate to them within 45 seconds that your primary purpose in life is to help them attract higher value customers, saving them time so that they can be on the Caribbean or down in the Grand Caymans on the hammock with the cabana boy bringing them the drinks like they had envisioned when they hung their shingle out to go into business, and they don't have to deal with as many pain in the butt customers. If you can craft a message that will increase profits, save time, your goal, and decrease customer count, which, by the way, also cuts down on employees, that's where you can bring in, in my marketing class, I learned that it's 10 times less expensive to resell products and services to people who've already bought from you because they already trust you. Can we try and experiment and see if we can run a campaign that way? Because if you ask them what's their retargeting program, they probably don't have one. Opportunity, and it's a test, and you're a student. What do they have to lose? They have nothing to lose. You're doing the work. Now, I hope you guys understand the power. You've got 35 to 40 seconds to practice your elevator speech. That's all the time that you have. And when you get that down smooth, you will see. How do you get that down smooth? You either pick up the phone or you go out in person and you just start doing it. You got to take action on this. The least effective that I have found is email. I can send out 1,000 emails and I'm lucky to get one response, let alone a phone call or anything else. I trust me on that one. And then I have yet for anybody to, while I'm sleeping, deposit money in my bank without me contacting them and letting them know where my bank account is and what the information. I actually have tried to do that, and you know what? They still won't deposit money in my account. So if you're not willing to do any of the above, you're in the wrong game. You've got to be able to you've got to do something. You've got to get off get off the duff and take action and do this. Get into the mix. Here we go. I forgot who it was earlier, but she asked, refer for, pay no more. Here, that is I get people that will say, well, Wes, if you'll put this together, I will bring you more business than you'll ever know what to do with. And I say, that is absolutely fantastic because I have a program that you're going to love. As a matter of fact, here's the way it works. You go ahead and pay me now, since we've already established that this works. But I understand your concerns. My specialty is to get you more profits. Well, check out the program I have for you. We know this works. I know you're happy with this because look at the return on investment that I've been able to establish for you. Here's the deal. If you'll refer me to 4 of your business associates that are not in direct competition with you, if you refer me 4 and don't tell them how much I'm charging you, you refer me 4, as long as they're paying, you pay no more. I call it my Refer For, Pay No More program. Guys, referrals are golden. There's absolutely no selling involved whatsoever. In the automotive, let me give you a little example here. In the automotive industry, I know every competitor up and down my street. I know my competitors in the next state over. If that's the industry I want to be in, I have friends that own shops in other locations that are not in direct competition with me. If you made me a campaign that's working awesome, I'm going to share that with my friends. And check this out, guys. This is how far I'm willing to go. Joe owns I-70. He is my direct competition. If you Google the auto repair Kansas City, you're going to see Above and Beyond Auto, and you're going to see I-70. Joe's my direct competition. Joe's my friend. I told him how to do that because it hurt me to see him getting ripped off. So I called him up. He's like, Wes, thank you. I'm like, no problem, man. I'll tell you. Now, next month when you take my spot, I'm going to do a little bit more, but I'll tell you what I'm going to do so that way you can go back and you can take my spot, and we'll go back and forth. Now, because I don't own the shop anymore, I don't go back and forth. But, I mean, I called my competition. I told him, Joe, check it. The guy is fantastic, does awesome work. So that's a rare example. But as a business owner, if you brought me a working campaign that works as phenomenal as what I put together for my shop, and, you know, if I was the representative of me, and heck yeah, I want you to call Joe. I want you to call Kenny in Riverside, and then I want you to call Keith or Sam over here, and then Sydney Motes, she needs help. And so there's 4 right there. And when I call them and say, hey, listen, there's this guy that's going to be coming down. It's not what you think, man. I want you to know this stuff, it's golden. Now, here's what I do. Refer for, pay no more. I add an extra, I divide the amount in half, and I add that much to all 4. So that way I'm getting paid double of what I'm discounting them for the referrals. As long as they're paying, that's the agreement. And I make the campaigns so valuable that there's no way they're not going to pay. I hope this is sinking in. I hope this makes sense. That's where the Refer For, Pay No More is. Have I done some serious brain damage? Do we want to go a little bit more? Do we want to wrap this up? Because there's more. There's guys,
lots of good feedback, Wes. Lots of good stuff.
I chopped off 90% of this mind map before the call came in. A little bit more. We're going to do just a little bit more. Magic questions. These are the magic questions that I asked. And Marshall is asking, not Marshall, I'm sorry. Elaine is asking, what's rough payment that each pays, et cetera, et cetera. Elaine, I'm going to share with you, before we do this one on the magic questions, I want to plant a seed that I want you to, and Brian has no idea on this, but I think I'll be okay, so I'm going to just throw it out there. And if not, Brian, you can shoot me at the event. But Elaine, when we're getting started, where's the freedom point? How much income do you need? Where is the dividing line? Now, we can have 5 clients at 20 grand a piece, and that's $100,000 a year income. My freedom line's $100,000 a year. That's just where I want it to be. So I can have 5 clients, which is 20 grand a month, or 20 grand, et cetera. If I lose one of those clients for whatever reason, and you will lose clients, that's a major hit on the income. Whereas if I have it divided out evenly, especially because I'm a student with these simple marketing campaigns that I throw together, if I had let's just do the math here. If I had 44 businesses paying me $197, that's $104,106 a year income. If one of those businesses, one of the 44 drops off the 197, and guys, I'm only talking just a little simple video campaign that takes minutes to throw together. If one of them drops off, I didn't just lose 1/5 of my income. I lost $200, 25 bucks a week. It's not like I'm going without Wheaties. So Elaine, in answer to your question, I like to get as much as I can, but I like to build a core foundation. Now, here's where the refer for pay no more comes in, is that on the 197, it's so cheap that they gladly refer me to the next guy because they're spending $2,500 on this billboard. They got $1,500 a month on Valpak. They got all this stuff. And then here's little old Wes with this little video campaign and this little email thing, and it's just rocking. They refer me. So who they refer me to, I make it $297 or $397. That way, I don't even have to have 44, but I have my base core of 44. That way, I always have, and they will never turn, there is not a mom and pop shop in the world that will ever turn off a $197 a month campaign because they can all afford that is actually producing results. That's my math on that one. Now, you can expand it out however you want. You can have 88 people giving you $97. You can have 22 giving you $497 or $397. However you want to divide it up. I found the cringe point for most smaller offline brick and mortar shops that want to give you a chance at this, they don't blink at 197. Bloop. And then Danny comes in and goes to these doctors and says, yeah, give me $750. I asked him, how many times do you get pushback from being a student and they thought you were going to, do this for free? And he's like, oh, no, I had that happen twice so far. And I just explained to him that, well, my services aren't free. And they cut me a check. The kid is phenomenal. And I'm like, wow, I'm doing this wrong. I guess I got to be 18 again. So there's the math on that one. Elaine's asking if I focus on video. Elaine, I do whatever it takes to create a marketing campaign that is effective, that they find so much value that they will refer me to their friends. Because once I'm in the door, then I can talk to them about mobile. I can talk to them about video. I can talk to them about email. I can talk to them about lead generation. I can talk to them about the door is wide open. I open up and I make them whatever they're paying in the phone book. That's why I target who's spending money. If they have a $2,500 a month billboard, you can bet I know what they're spending. I know where it is because I'll call the billboard company and ask them how much it is. And then that's what I want in my pocket once I show the return on investment of what I can build. But I start off real small and simple to get my foot in the door. And then I just take it from there. And guys, there are times where they don't have the money. They can't pay you. They want to pay you and they will give you, they are not going to admit that they do not have the money. You will get, well, your campaigns don't work. Yet you can look at your call logs and you can see, you can listen to the recordings. There's a whole bunch more to this, but I want to give you guys the stuff that you can take and you can go and you start applying this, getting customers in the door. Magic questions. If you're in person at the place of business, ask, how's business? Well, what if you had, or how about if you had some type of trackable campaign that shows you the return on investment? Or if they have a video and they're paying up the wazoo for a yellow page video and it's been there for 3 years and it's got 17 views and they're paying $1,500 a month for that. What if I took that same video and I got it ranked on page 1 for you? What if I took that same video? What if I made you a whole different, it's ask the what if you had, how about if, would that be something that you're interested in? Guys, this one is where it all started. If you are dealing with if you're dealing with a company that you normally deal with on a regular and consistent basis and they give you excellent service and you like that company and that's why you keep going back, make a video testimonial and ask them, hey, I like this place. I looked and you don't have your Google Play. You got no videos. Look at these reviews. People are just bagging on you. By the way, that comes from Demand Force. Or in the automotive industry, there's unscrupulous reviewers out there. I'll just leave it at that. Anyways, what if I was to make you a video testimonial and put it online about how awesome you are? Is that going to be all right? instantly to the decision maker. Takes you right there. And you're a regular customer anyways. They're going to tell you no? I don't think so. And it just opens the door to bring rapport. You bring value to them, establish the rapport, and it just takes off from there. If on the phone, would you be open to, magic opening question, would you be, if I was to make you a marketing campaign, would this be something that you're open to, especially if I could show you, profits and return on, and everything's trackable. Not only that, we can record the phone calls and you can hear back. One of my financial campaigns, the guy cringed. I think I told him like $1,500 a month. The guy cringed. He's like, oh, I'm like, dude, how much do you make on one loan? He's like, well, about $1,500. I'm like, all right, so if I get you one customer, you're break even, and I'm going to get you more than one customer. So I put it all together, and I knew that the phone recording was happening and everything else, and I set it all up, put it all together. So 30 days goes by, and he's calling. He's like, dude, I spent a lot of money, man, and I'm just not feeling it. I'm like, well, let me shoot you over the files that I have on my side. I'm looking at my call. Somebody talked on the phone for an hour and 20 minutes, and so and it's pennies. It's mere pennies, guys. But I had that recording. So I shot it over to him. Calls me back and he said, Wes, those recordings are amazing. I learned so much. Let me share with you. In fact, I even told him, I'm like, you really need to listen to some of these recordings, especially number 3 and number 5 and number 7. And I don't know why it was the odd prime numbers, but it was. And I told him, I said, you really need to pay attention to those more than anything. And so calls me back and he says, the recordings alone were worth every penny that I gave you. Not to mention that he said, I traced it back and we did close 3 of those loans that came in from your campaign. Now, he says, Wes, let me ask you this. Can you possibly, there's a company that's using my name in their advertising efforts. Is there any way that you could possibly create an advertising campaign that would piggyback off of the campaign that they're paying for using my name? And I'm like, oh, you bet. I love to do that stuff. So long story short, they don't run that radio campaign anymore because we certainly appreciated it. No matter when you go to the internet and you look up this one name that was on the radio getting blasted, it took you back to my client. So needless to say, the recordings are so invaluable because when the cat's away, you don't know what's going on. You don't know how, as a business owner, when I left, I would get phone calls from customers going like, do you fully realize that I walked into your shop and everybody was just sitting around? And I'm like, yeah, I know. What can I do? I can't be there 24/7. That's a frustration that business owners have. I noticed you had a video. What if I got it on page 1? Now, this is if it's a yellow page video because they're paying up the wazoo for that. Ask them, where do you make your most money? And then rank the video for their profitable keywords and say, yellow pages will have Bob's business. Well, Bob doesn't make any money at Bob's business. Bob makes money fixing, broken toilets. So emergency plumbing repair. Put Bob's video about Bob's video, but keyword it to emergency plumbing repair. And all it takes is one phone call with somebody calling up going, hey, Bob, I saw your video. Can you get over here, man? I got a toilet that's like, overflowing and it's not good. Anytime that there's a sense of urgency built into your campaigns, people are not calling about how much of a discount can I get. They want the people there now. It works wonderful in any niche that has a sense of urgency. Target your campaigns to have a sense of urgency. And the customers that it attracts are not looking for a discount. They are looking for service. And think about it. When your car's broke, you need emergency car repair. You don't care what it costs. You want service. You want it done. All right. Another one, by phone. I was doing a little research and I noticed that works like a what did you know? I noticed that your website was broke when I clicked over to this page. Find something. Find a title tag. Find something wrong with their website. Find something wrong with their footer. There's so many things wrong, especially on business. They got raked over the coals anyways. If all they have is a Yellow Page site, say, you're paying $1,500 for this, and Yellow Pages hasn't even claimed your own listing inside of Yellow Pages. Yet they're charging you $1,500 for all this SEO optimization, and they're not even claiming their own listing for your business that they're charging you for. Especially if it's one of those premier listed ads up at the top. So I was researching and I noticed that works like magic. If you're mailing a big giant red circle with an arrow, are you aware? Now, I don't have as much luck with this when I do these, if I do these, because here's what I get. Yeah, could you go ahead and send me something on that? If I do, I'll use the FedEx. I'll use my 8x10 glossy photo with circles and arrows, big, bold, bam, looky here. I'll take a screenshot of it. I'll print it off, and I'll send it to them. And then what I'll also do is I will put some type of a promotional, like I'll rip out the yellow page. I'll put something on there, and I will bring it to their attention that I'm fully aware that they are spending $1,500 a month to draw people to this broken arrow, which isn't working, and that I can fix it. The return on that is not worth my effort. I don't even do it anymore. I'm sharing with you guys the golden nuggets of what I do when I decide to do it. If networking, have that elevator speech refined. You've got to have it refined. You got 30 seconds, and I'm telling you, it doesn't matter where. You could be at the bar. You could be anywhere. You got 30 seconds max to grasp somebody's attention about what it is that you do. Free consultations work wonderful, except don't call it a free consultation. What you want to do, Groupon, let me ask, how effective was that Groupon campaign? Can you share it? Because I was thinking about maybe hiring, and you'll get the whole story. You talk about a free consultation, their guard's going to go up because they don't want to tell you they don't have any money in the bank. It's that macho thing about being a business owner. Business owners, typically, we're broke because we're paying employees and unemployment taxes and federal insurance and on and on and on. And they drain the blood out of us. But we don't want to tell you that side of the story. We want, man, it is the best move I ever made. You know, when I quit my 35 years at Ford and I went into business for myself, it's by far the best move I ever made. I really enjoy, instead of my 60-hour work week where I got paid union overtime, now I get to put in 120 hours a week and I get to pay to be there. You know, it took my entire retirement fund and everything. I mean, it's just so fun. They aren't going to tell you that part of it. So free consultation works in the proper, you just play with it. Test it. You'll see what I mean. By the way, everything is a test. And then, of course, the least effective method of all is not doing anything. You got to do something. Do something. And you'll be amazed at where the success will go. And I am exactly at 1 hour since I started. I hope you guys like this. I hope this has been inspirational. This is the golden nuggets that have taken so many of the people that I've taught this exact stuff to from zero to knocking it out of the ballpark.
Wes, you know what? You might have done a 1 hour call, but everybody who listened knows it was really a 2 hour webinar. So let's be honest. For Janice, who wants to know, I won't even read it, Janice. That had me laughing so hard. You guys, that was awesome. And I admit I was working on data migration issues in the background, and my mic wasn't muted for a minute. But I listened to the whole thing, and I watched the mind map unfold. And the feedback, Wes, once again, was awesome, and I think everybody got a lot out of it. We will reschedule a different YouTube call. We had something come up that necessitated changing it, but we will reschedule something with Wes again on YouTube because I love hearing what he has to say. He has a ton of energy, and he keeps it very, very real. It's very honest. At the end of the day, that's what matters. So, Wes, let's take any last questions. If you give us 5 minutes, maybe we can take a couple more questions.
Absolutely. I didn't want to pull my usual. Yeah. I can do 8 hours, man. I'm telling you.
Listen to this. Don't challenge him because I was on that call. Elaine Albright says, I've got an appointment with the Midas owner tomorrow, so this is really helpful for her. Lots of good feedback. Joseph, Jim, Paul, etc. Edward in the Netherlands says, Brian, it was really 5 hours of content. Let's see. Danny from New York is asking, Wes, how much have you seen those Yellow Pages videos going for?
That's how I got my lawyer. They were hitting my lawyer at $1,700 a month.
Really? See, I got an optometrist, or actually he's an eye surgeon the same way. He was paying $1,500 or $1,600 a year, but it wasn't a Yellow Pages video. It was a local TV station that did it and created it, and then they charge him an annual fee of that amount to have the video to license.
Hey, here's a golden nugget. Based on that one, there are a lot of companies that have videos that the cable company or the local TV station or even the just a local promo video that's sitting on their shelf collecting dust, and they've already paid up the wazoo to have the thing produced. If you go in and you say, well, I swear I saw a commercial about your business, and they've got, oh yeah, we ran that, and it was $5,000 a month or something. And well, where's the video now? Well, it's sitting on my shelf. Well, I tell you what.
Yeah,
what
Danny,
if I take it and
it's ridiculous.
What's your most profitable keyword? And give me a week. And if I can pull off something so phenomenal with your video that you've already paid all that money for, would you be open to talking to me further? Because before I tell you what's going to happen, I want to prove what I'm capable of. Because everybody else walking in the door is only talking about what they can do after they get a $5,000 check, maybe. When you walk in the door and you say, hey, Google this, and there's their business on their video right there on page 1, golden.
All right. Well, as soon as you stop to breathe, I have 4 questions. So Elaine first. Elaine wants an example of an elevator speech, please.
I wing it. Elaine, every situation.
Yeah, I do too, you guys. That's the honest answer. And if it sounds fake and rehearsed, it will be fake and rehearsed. You got to put yourself into it each time. And I say generally the same thing. Do you want to wing one right now? Are you talking about an elevator speech at a networking group, Wes?
Whenever the opportunity presents itself, they're going to say, well, Wes, what is it that you do? You've got just a few minutes, and it doesn't really matter what you say as long as these words do not escape your lips. Anything with internet marketer.
Really? See, I don't have that problem. Like when I'm at a networking group, I agree with you. You said earlier, don't use the word offline marketer. Matter of fact, I hate that phrase. And the only reason that I even allow Mario to use it is that it's become common amongst other marketers to the point that it helps establish what your product's about. But I find the phrase to be completely ridiculous. To me, an offline marketer would be somebody who mails postcards or does print or whatever. But when I talk to people, I always mention that I do internet marketing, because when they think about internet marketing, it's what we really do for quote-unquote offline. It's not what a Frank Kern does when he talks about internet marketing. It's completely different. So like when I talk to somebody, like Jim was saying, hey, wing one, when I talk to somebody, I'll be like, hey, I appreciate everybody letting me speak at the networking group today. I know that you don't know me. My name is Brian Anderson. I run a local search and social media company. Or if I'm talking about mobile, I run a local mobile consulting company. And let me tell you briefly about what I do, and then I highlight, a nutshell of what I do. The best thing you can do if you're talking mobile is do an example, and then toss around your phone or your device so they can see stuff, because seeing is believing, and show and tell gets me the best results at those networking groups. But I always introduce myself, tell them where I'm from, and then real specifically what I do. So I provide local marketing services for small businesses. I focus on an area called internet marketing. And for me, internet marketing spans search, which is, when people look things up on Google. It spans social media, so the Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn, and even Pinterest, if some of you have heard of that. And then even more importantly, all of you have seen how pervasive mobile phones are and how everybody's on a mobile phone almost all the time. I offer solutions to allow you to go after that market and bring them into your business as a new customer. And I just do something like that. I wrap it into 60 to 90 seconds. And then I always try to say, if anybody's interested in hearing more, I'd love to show you some examples at the end of the meeting, or I'll pass around my phone and show you some live examples. Now, sometimes I do a short code if it's an SMS, and I'll do a little short code coupon, like an oil change or a lane with the Midas. I'll do a punch card coupon, and I'll show them an example. But that's it. And then it doesn't need to sound fake and professional and sounds like you read it out of a book. It should sound like you and your business and your voice, and it should be customized to that audience. It shouldn't be the same one every time, because all of us do a little bit. We do a suite of things, right? We do mobile, we do search. Some of us do rep management. Some of us do videos. You just got to tweak it based on the audience and based on where you're really going. But Wes, another one for you was Rebecca. Rebecca said that on top, and she's so right. Rebecca Happy said, on top of these prices for those videos, they don't even optimize them at all. And that's why you come in and offer to do what you did, right?
That is exactly why. I know they're spending a boatload. One other little side note on the whole thing, Brian, in that context, that speech at that meeting where they're expecting it works perfectly. But I'm saying, don't let the words internet marketer escape. If you're in a place of business and you're going,
I got you.
In that context, they're going to say, well, what do you do? Because as soon as I noticed, this and that. As soon as you say internet marketer, their guard goes up. But in a context where they're expecting you to present yourself, and did you listen to his speech real close? He didn't say, I'm an internet marketer here to help you. I specialize. I'm a consultant. I'm a marketing consultant. He iced the cake before the word internet came out, and he did it twice. And I specialize in internet marketing and getting small businesses the exposure that they deserve. Anyways, the most important thing is play with it. You're going to feel what feels right after a while. Just throw it out there. You know what? Who cares? Here's the kicker on this one. Do not get discouraged when you come in and you found these problems with their website and their marketing campaigns and everything else, and you meet this person that's in charge of has the final say and is the decision maker, and then you give them all this great information, because trust me, I like to completely over deliver. So I'll tell them, you need to fix this, you need to fix that, you got to do this, you have to do this, you have to do that. Then 3 days later, you for whatever reason they haven't called you back, so you start to investigate and you see all the things that you said are now done. Then you find out that the person that you told it to was the person in charge of their internet marketing that wasn't doing their job in the first place. Chalk it up to lesson learned. And then here's how I turn that bad situation into a good situation. I will contact whoever I talk to, and I congratulate them for taking action and implementing my suggestions and everything else. And I point out what they missed and how it could be better. And that way I've established a rapport that I was the one that provided those suggestions. Then when I go to the next place, for example, over at the orthodontist, these are the suggestions that I gave the person in charge of IT marketing. And so if you don't have an IT person, I can certainly, I can help. Car dealerships usually have somebody that's in charge of internet sales. Watch out for that guy too, because he will take all your best stuff and not let the boss know that it was you. So don't get discouraged. But until you go out and you do this stuff, you won't learn these lessons.
All right, Wes, we got to take 2 more. I'm limiting your response to under 30 seconds because I want to. Maybe we get more because I want to try to answer as many of them. There was a good one from Danny. The video you were talking about that was like $1,700 a month that was a lawyer, you said, right?
That was my lawyer, yeah.
That was your lawyer. What market was that? Kansas City, St. Louis? Remind me what market that was in.
Kansas City. Okay,
so yeah, because Danny said he's in New York. He said, man, up here it's got to be 2 or 3 times as much up here.
Yep. Now, the $1,700 was for a video that was not optimized at all. It was for the premium phone book listing and the little ad where they'll put the star, they move you up on their website and their canned website.
All right, next one is, hang on, there was a good one. Okay, Gonti and a few others said, how do you find these yellow page videos? Any specific search query or way to find businesses that have these non-optimized yellow page videos?
YouTube, Yellow Book.
Gonti, does that make sense?
Yellow Pages, YouTube, AT&T. You'd be amazed.
Yep. And
now, if you're going to go down, Brian, and I know you know about this one, but FindLaw. If you're in the internet, look up FindLaw, and that's all lawyer videos, and they charge I think $650 a month for those videos, and they're not optimized at all. If you go to YouTube, here's 5,500 potential targets. Go to YouTube and type in MS Pro, MS Mike Sam PRO 1, and there's like 55. They charge $300, $400 a month for those videos that are crappy. And the average length, it's by eGumball. That was the company charging me $750 that didn't do squat for me. That's why I fired them. So anyways.
All right, let's see. Good answer for Gonti. Eric kind of does what I do. Eric comments that he changes his terminology in his in a little networking speech or a elevator pitch, whatever it may be, based on the industry. So he drops in automotive specific phrases or legal phrases so that he looks like he's an expert that focuses on that phrase. Now that doesn't work if you're in a generic group, but if he's at a meeting with 7 automotive kind of people, he'll use that kind of lingo.
Exactly.
Let's see, and
if you hear me pitch into a skydiving drop zone, you would never guess me as a mechanic.
yeah, that's very true. Jim, Jim, I think we just answered yours on where do you find the videos. YP.com.
Yep.
You guys, Marshall says go to YP.com and you'll find tons and tons of these videos. Yeah, and Eric, absolutely, man. I'm going to give you my Skype. Let's connect on that. I would love to have some help. That would be awesome. And I just Skyped you or messaged you. And, yeah, Edward, I think you're right on the 5 hours of content. And, Wes, I'm going to wrap it up with this.
Yes, sir.
Kathy, and this, I think, underscores the feedback of many, many people on this call. Kathy B. says, fantastic, Wes. I've learned more this week than I have in months. Actually, she says 6 months. And, between your other call, this call, a wealth of information. You guys, Wes, and I'm just going to do this because it's the right thing to do. Wes volunteered to do these calls. He by no means asked me to promote or push any of his stuff, but he did do a really cool product. God, man, it's been a year. It's been a while ago with Rachel, right?
Yeah.
And that was, I don't even have any of that info handy, but what I will do is Wes will eventually be coming out with some new training. He does really good stuff. As you can tell, he puts his all in his heart into it. And the thing I like about Wes, and well, besides he's in our Offline Renegade group, and I love having other members share, other successful members share, is that he somehow managed to distort time so that he can do 2 and 3 hours of training in 1 hour, which is not really fair to the rest of us. But when he does put out some stuff, I will send it all to you. And Wes, when you do, I know you had a video, like a WSO that you were working on. You had told me a while back. And then I know you released that it was more of a sales kind of course with Rachel. I can't remember all the details right now, but it was pretty good. Yeah. Maybe you can share it if you don't mind. There are people asking, and I think it'd be great if you had a link or something to it.
I tell you what, there's
a better way that we could share that with them, because there's a lot of positive people, and I think it'd be great to share.
Absolutely. Here's the deal, though. I didn't come prepared because I wanted to bring pure content to the table. So I don't even have any links prepared. I know that's like the marketing mistake number 101.
No, well, you guys, he's honest. He did this. He offered out of the kindness of his heart, and he heard me asking for people to help do some content calls. And I said, hey, when it makes sense down the road, if you have a new product or something, I'd love to share. I am already a Wes fan, so for me it's not a big deal. I was taking Wes up on doing some content calls, and he truly over-delivered. So, Wes, when you can, just give me the links, and I'll share them out with everybody.
Yep. Now, with that being said, I want to let you guys know Keith Doherty has helped me structure in an organized fashion a YouTube thing that I do, and actually it launches tomorrow. I didn't even tell you about it because I didn't want you to think that that's why I was here. And then next week, I want to do more content calls. If you guys are mad that I didn't bring any links, be mad because I didn't bring any links. I'm sorry. Just watch for it. I will mail it out, Brian. I will give you the links if you so want to give
Yeah, send them, and I'll put them in the replay for the people asking. And you guys don't feel obligated, but I promise you it's some good stuff. The one he did with Rachel was really good. And when it makes sense, Wes, yeah, just hit me up on Skype, and we can schedule a couple more. I know everybody's really enjoyed them.
Absolutely. Tuesday, you want to do Tuesday at the same time?
I need to check the schedule, dude, honestly, because Mario schedules webinars like they're going out of style, so I got to double check the Gmail calendar and see what's happening. I'll ping you when we wrap the call up.
That'll work, and I got my tickets today, so I will see all of you guys at the event. I've got this recording going. I will get it to Leanne just as soon as I get the little the beginning chopped off where I started it, and I'll make another page like I did on the other one, and I will make sure that you guys get this copy of this mind map also. That's the only resource that I brought today. The 3 slides you don't need. And with that, thank you all so very, very much for your time and your attention. If anybody has any questions, my Skype name's Above and Beyond Auto. Skype me. I will answer it to the best of my ability.
All right. Well, thank everybody, and thank you, of course, Wes. And then I'll regroup. I think Eric's going to do a content call from a business strategy and coaching standpoint, and then I'll get Wes to kind of line up maybe that video topic. But thanks, everybody, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
The organizer has ended the session.